Today it's gonna be interesting for Arduino makers and slot car fans. The new code is comprising Wi-Fi management, computation of performance indicators, and usability improvements. Our current code version 3.2, which we released 10 months ago, is running stable and we used it for a number of exciting races. Today we are explaining a big software upgrade comprising new functions. It's important to mention that the electronics hardware remained the same and anyone who built a lap counter can use the new software version. By the way, the new software is free of charge, but we would be happy to receive a donation. You will find our PayPal link under the video. If desired, we can publish your name or company in one of the upcoming videos. This video is sponsored by PCBWay, a company that provided us with great support in manufacturing the printed circuit board. This is good news for anyone interested in this project, because PCBWay is running a community database in which you can find 2 entries for this project. It would be the easiest way for you to have the printed circuit and the 3D printed parts produced for this project. Just take a look at PCBWay's websites. Our version numbering is simple. The first number is increased when new functions are added. We call this an upgrade. The second number is increased for small improvements or bug fixes. We call it an update. So we are making a big leap from version 3.2 to version 5.2. The code is actually comprising several new functions and improvements. It has been tested over several months and it works perfectly. I will explain the entire code in a separate video, because it has become quite extensive. After all, it can do a lot more than just counting laps. An important new function is the Wi-Fi Manager. In the previous version, we had to upload the Wi-Fi credentials via the Arduino code. This is inconvenient because in case you want to change the credentials later, you have to compile again and upload the changed code. Using the new Wi-Fi Manager library, the Wi-Fi setup works just as professionally as with commercial Wi-Fi devices. I will show you briefly how it works. When you switch on the lap counter the first time, it is setting up a Wi-Fi access point with the SSID My Lap Counter. Next, you can connect a PC or your smartphone to it. In the appearing window, you select Configure Wi-Fi. Next, you are asked to enter the SSID and your Wi-Fi password. This is very convenient because all available networks are already displayed here. So all you need to do is click on the desired network and enter a password and save. Then the lap counter connects to the Wi-Fi network you selected. The credentials are saved permanently, but you can reset it if you want. The penalty function is measuring penalty times, for example in the case of a false start or if a pilot is driving during a stop phase. This function already works correctly in the previous software version. However, your penalties were only displayed on a lap update, and I have to admit that it might be a bit confusing not getting immediate feedback. We improved the code so that the penalty times are always updated instantaneously. We already had the option of recording your race on a PC. You can save all values that the lap counter is displaying on the web interface for each lap. In this way, you can later analyze a race with a spreadsheet tool such as Excel. We are measuring the voltages on the 2 tracks 100 times per second. In the new version, we are computing interesting performance indicators from that data. The integral value of the voltage over time in volt-seconds is a good indicator of the driver's ambitions on each lap. Volt-seconds is a strange unit of measure, isn't it? And then we have the average of the voltage per lap. We can use these indicators to compare the performance of drivers and cars on every lap. At the end of a race, it is interesting to see whether the driver who was pushing more is actually delivering better lap times. For example, drifting and spinning tires are causing you to lose time. You can now derive this from the data, and with the analysis you can improve your performance. In an earlier video, we got interesting results evaluating a race using the new 5.2 features. Finally, we are computing the maximum voltage to document the supply voltage. We can now change settings via the serial interface, which is another important feature that makes the lap counter user-friendly. As soon as an invalid command is received, a help function is sending valid examples. You can change and permanently save the length of your track or scale factor. You no longer need to change the code. You can assign drivers' names to your slots, making the evaluation easier. Names are stored during operation and will be reset to the defaults the next time you turn on the lap counter. The last command on the list is resetting the Wi-Fi credentials. For security reasons, you might want to delete your credentials before giving your lap counter to someone else. Similar to professional IT products, we built a solid hardware platform, and now we're developing the software further. Version 5.2 brings new features as well as significantly improved usability. With the new software, you no longer need the development environment to change settings, and anyone can use the device now. Maybe this is motivating you to build it, and based on your feedback, we might even develop more features. Just as a side note, there is another gadget on the channel to measure speed and acceleration of slot cars. Now stay tuned and don't forget to support the channel. See you soon in the coming episodes.